All right. I think we're all on here. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Susan, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, we're good. We're good. So somehow we made this all work. My name is Kevin Vest. I'm the athletic director at Tyler Junior College, and I've had a chance to talk to most of you. And we've got some folks for the panelists. You may or may not be able to see this. We've got some folks also joining us who you can't see. A number of our student athletes are hopping on, and probably similar to us as student athletes. Some of them are a little late for practice, but that's fine too. I think they'll be getting on here in a little bit. And so I appreciate everybody joining us. I'm going to make some introductions here. The kind of the mastermind behind a lot of this stuff, not only with athletics, but just around campus this week, has been Susan Farrington. She kind of pitched the idea in the summer, as you all know, with our athletic events canceled this fall, to try to find something to still bring, I guess, our Apache Nation together, even though it's virtually a little bit. And I think we all know the special part of being an Apache is getting together, and I think connecting even different generations of Apaches, so to speak. And I think she's found some cool ways to do this. Mac is on here. We were on another one of these on Tuesday with the 1960 football team that I'll share with everybody on here. Was Dr. Parker from the NJCAA was able to inform them that they're going to be inducted into the NJCAA Football Coaches Hall of Fame. Our 1960 team that won a national championship and went 12-0 in a regular season. And we had a fun time kind of reconnecting with them in this COVID world. And so I appreciate all the work Susan's doing. Susan, I'm going to put you on the spot to say a couple welcoming words. Susan's our Director of Alumni Relations and doing a wonderful job, and really has an affinity towards athletics, and we appreciate everything you're doing. So Susan? I think she's muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So I actually want to give credit where credit is due. So actually, Lauren Tyler, our Director of Student Affairs, came up with the idea of Spirit Week. I think maybe it kind of was passing for her, and I kind of was standing in the right place at the right time, and I held on to it, mostly because I wanted to see and talk to people not wearing a mask. So it's been a wonderful week. It has been mostly virtual. We've had something going on just about every night. The only thing that's happening physically, I think we have lots of balloons around campus, which is not a bad thing. We perhaps should do that all the time. I really appreciate my partnership with athletics. It's an incredible group. And as Kevin and I start to work together more, we're gonna shoot me if I say this. We really want to get Letterman Gold going again, and so there's a lot of exciting things in the future. And so I was just happy to join this week, and I'm just excited to get into the interview with Silk. So I'm going to toss it back to you, and we'll have some exciting times.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'll also welcome a friendly face to many of you folks. Silk would have probably known Dr. Drain as the athletic director here when she was a student athlete here. And for Ron and Mac, many of you guys have probably had several interactions with Dr. Drain either through the years as a result of that, or as through this process of Sports Circle of Honor. So I'm going to ask Dr. Drain for a couple of welcoming words also.
He's probably muted as well.
Whenever we try to mute him, we can't. There we go.
Okay, good. It said I couldn't unmute myself because the host, Chuck Smith, had control of it. So that's probably retribution and payback for many pranks I might have pulled on him. So here's my couple of words. Golly, Ron and Mac, it's so good to see you guys. Mac, you're becoming a normal at this thing. This is maybe every Tuesday and Thursday we can kick back and chit chat at this. And I can't wait till we can do this in person. So this will suffice for now, but I can't wait to see everybody on our campus doing this. And I'm a handshaker and a hugger. So I'm going to be hugging and handshaking and can't wait to do it. So I can't wait for you to see what Silk has done. I promise you, she knows I'd come over every dadgum day and just sit there and stare at it. I can't draw a stick figure. And she has drawn this, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. So, and then I know kind of hidden, there's a bunch of athletes that are on this call. So I just love opportunities where the Apache athletes of today get to see the shoulders that they stand upon, and why we have such great expectations of today's athletes. And Ron and Mac and our inductees into this circle of honor, you guys are the reason. So, and then with that, I can't wait to watch Silk again. I can't even believe she could do this. So congrats. And I'm so glad to see everybody.
All right. Well, I'll probably come back to Dr. Drain here in a little bit to kind of give us, I guess, some broader thoughts on the Circle of Honor and how significant that is here. Once we get to that part, it's truly special. But something else I think is truly special is the ability to incorporate former athletes who have gone on to do great things and bring them kind of back into our world, even after a few years and maybe in a different environment. And I love Susan has this term that I keep stealing from her, arts and athletics. And so we had a chance. I'll introduce a couple other people on the call. You heard Chuck Smith's name. Chuck's our associate AD and has been here for a long time. And he's kind of the brains behind the tech of this operation, and he's going to be able to play the video and do all this other stuff. Another person on the call is Kelsey Weeks. So Kelsey's our assistant athletic director, and another former student athlete here, played on one of our national championship women's soccer teams. And so kind of this summer, we started having this conversation. We just had this, I guess we wouldn't even have called it a canvas before Silk started painting. We had a blank wall in our office. Actually, we had a wall with some shelves and kind of some old pictures that we'd pieced together. And we started saying, maybe we can freshen that up and take the shelves down. And we got the shelves down, and our facilities people came over and painted the wall. And we really had no idea exactly what to do with it. And so we started looking at fad heads and graphics and things you could stick on the wall. And Kelsey came into our office one day, and I think she's friends on social media with Silk still, and they've stayed connected and sees a bunch of her artwork. And she said, what if we got one of our own to come back here and do something that's going to be a lot cooler than sending a photo to some company and having them send us a vinyl sticker. And she showed Chuck and I and a couple others one picture. I think, Silk, it was a picture maybe of Michael Jordan, which was timely because I think Last Dance was on and stuff like that. And we were just absolutely blown away. And so we rolled with it, and Kelsey and Silk kind of went back and forth on some ideas, some thought processes on what something cool could be done in our office, and to honor the past. And you'll see that from some of the faces that are on there, but also kind of connect us with our present. And so I'm going to ask Chuck. He's going to play a cool video, and you'll get to see exactly what Silk has done amazingly to our office. So here you go.
know I said for sure, but I'm not too sure anymore. This is for all the girls and all the boys to the dance floor.
So that is, so I'll start by this. I'll start by saying thank you. Yeah, there's a big round of applause, a well-deserved round of applause to Silk, because I got to tell you, I don't think you know, Kelsey said this the other day, like, we walk into that office every day and it gets cooler every single day that we look at it. It's just amazing for us to be able to walk in there and see that thing every day. I'll also, two things that come to mind when I watch the video. Dr. Drain said he came over and saw it every day. 100% true. And you saw some of our coaches who would literally walk through there and stop every day to watch the progress. And I guess along the theme of connecting the past and the present, you know, probably another historic name along with the other folks on this call tonight. It just was coincidental that we had Pooh Welch over to record some video at that time. And Ron, I'm sure you've heard that name, and Mac, you've heard that name. You know, one of the legendary basketball figures at Tyler Junior College. Well, some folks may have known it, but I certainly didn't until I got over there. But Pooh's wife is actually an art teacher, and he was just absolutely mesmerized. And Silk, I think you know that he's now the president of your fan club. I talked to him a couple weeks ago and was able to send him and his wife Di, you know, the pictures of the mural, and he's just blown away. And I mean, and it was so neat to get it, you know, to see you two interact, and two different generations of Apaches kind of connecting. And so with that, I'm going to formally introduce Cecilia Silk Okoye, who was a women's basketball player here in 2010 to 2012, went on to go on and play overseas professionally for several years, and has now moved into a different phase of her life, which includes her art. And so, Silk, welcome to the call.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's so awesome to see you again and hear your voice again, see that smile. So I guess I'll start just with this question. Like, I think Kelsey probably, and Kelsey, you can chime in and tell me if I'm wrong. I think she just kind of called you and said, hey, we want a mural with a bunch of people that played here or something. And we kind of said, run with it. So I guess what was what was the first thing that popped in your mind when we kind of gave you this task?
I was honored, honestly. I was kind of a little nervous at first because I wasn't sure what to do, but she gave me like, I guess like what she wanted incorporated in it. And so I got one done and I was stuck for a while. I think you can ask her. And then I was like, look, I'm stuck. Here's what I have as a rough draft. And she was like, yeah, that's it. That was good. Gave me the compliment.
Yeah. You didn't look stuck at all. You didn't look stuck. You know, the first thing you sent was awesome. I think I showed Kevin and I was like, look at this. This is insane. And then we just made a couple tweaks and you killed it. It looks awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So I guess like just from a personal standpoint for you, I know we all have an attachment to the college, but you know, what did that mean to you to be able to come in there and paint? I mean, don't get me wrong, you're one of the legends too. You're just not old enough to be one of the legends yet, right? Like, but to be able to paint people like Floyd Wagstaff and Jimmy Butler, and I mean,
No, it meant a lot. It meant a lot. As soon as like she contacted me, I like called my mom up when she got back. I still was telling her, I was like, man, they want me to paint on their wall. And then when I walked in, it was just like a bunch of memories. And like when I got signed to like the 4-year, everything it was just a lot of emotions at once. It meant a lot to me, honestly.
Well, talk a little bit about that. Talk about your experience at TJC and then moving on and your experience playing professionally and kind of.
TJC was probably the most fun I had. So I wasn't highly recruited out of high school, so I honestly didn't know exactly what I was gonna do. I was still riding the bench like in 2009 before I got signed to TJC in 2010. And so TJC is really like, if it wasn't for TJC, I wouldn't have been able to play overseas or go further and play on the national team and stuff like that, because I grew as a player. Like I figured out that I was capable of being better when I got to CJC. So it meant a lot. Yeah.
Well, it means a lot to us, and trust me, that painting means a lot to us. The opportunity to have you around for a few days meant a lot to us, and we can't wait to get you back to campus. And you might have some more work to do. You might have some more work to do and some things to do. So
look forward to it. Thank you all.
Is Susan raising her hand?
I am. I have to jump in and ask Silk a couple of questions. You know, I could just watch that video over and over again. It is such a feel-good experience, and there's just so much creativity. And I even love what you did with the video, the mural, but the video is awesome. Silk, have you always, have you always been an artist? How did this? I'm just so fascinated that you're, you know, as an athlete, you're competitive, right? Art's a little different thing. It's more reflective. How does that work for you?
Well, I was sketching since I was little. It started with my brother and sister sketching, and I was always trying to be like them. So I started sketching. And then when I started, I guess, getting a little, you know, older in basketball years, and when I was playing overseas, I started taking it more serious. So 2016, I finally picked up a paintbrush and switched from pencil to paint, and it just took off from there.
Wow. You kind of discovered your own talent. It's like, so are you going to run with this? Are you going to keep?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm trying to get as far as I can with art. I think that's I don't know. I think I can do a lot with it. You know, I'm still, you know, going to school. I'm going back to school to change my degree. So I'm still doing that, of course, but ultimate dream, full-time artist, you know, no question.
Wow. Well, I have to say, even looking at the mural, you've got, oops, she's frozen, or I'm frozen. I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I just had one more question. Looking at that rendering of Coach Wagstaff, I mean, that is so precise and so, and then you kind of blend other styles. So do you feel like you have a style, or you're still developing your style?
She must.
Did we lose her?
Yeah, we might have. I will share. So we'll see if she comes back in here. But Susan alluded to this. So Silk also did the video, right? So it's amazing. I wonder if she's going to. There she goes. So I'll kill some time while she's coming back in. But Silk also did the video there. That was not us producing it. She did that part on her own too. But all right, Silk, she had one more question for you.
Okay, sorry.
Is she back?
Yep.
We lost you. So I was just saying the portraiture that you have of Coach Wagstaff is just so clear and precise. I mean, it's almost like a photograph. It's incredible. And then you kind of blend these other styles, right? A little more impressionistic, I guess, whatever. But I was just wondering which style you like, or you just kind of like all of those styles. I mean, you're good at all of them.
Well, thank you. Well, I like portraits more. When it comes to like background, I'd really get stuck in the abstract. Is really not my thing. You know, I play around with it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm more of like a visual type of artist. So like if I need to like picture like an arm over somebody's head, I'll get a picture of that head and then I'll go look for another picture of an arm and kind of like place it.
Well, you do a great job of it.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you again, Silk, and please make sure when you get back over and see us. And like I said, I mean, there's people that are marveling at that thing and probably trying to figure out what they can have you do in their offices. So thanks for keeping us cool. We got the coolest office on campus, I think, because of your work. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Don't be a stranger.
Sure, I'll be there.
So the
Nice
other
to
part,
meet you.
thank you. So the other part of tonight was, you know, to get a chance to also talk to some newfound Circle of Honor inductees and to kind of announce our Circle of Honor class for this year, which we had intended to induct in May, and then obviously, you know, COVID hit and some things got canceled and postponed. And please be sure that we're working diligently on getting this group of honorees to campus. We kind of got I won't know if I'll say it out loud, but we've kind of circled maybe a possible date on the calendar that hopefully will be post-COVID and give us a chance to get it. But one thing that struck me real quick when I got here, it was, you know, shortly after I got here that I got to go to my very first Circle of Honor committee meeting. And it's just, I'll tell you what, it's humbling to hear some of the conversations about the people who are already in the Circle of Honor, people who are going into the Circle of Honor, and people who are even being considered that haven't quite made the cut yet because there's so many people. And so Dr. Drain kind of manages that process and has been involved. And so I guess I'm going to turn it over to him and just get some general thoughts on what the Circle of Honor means to Tyler Junior College and how special it is and unique it is.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it is those meetings of the selection meetings. There's this very special person on this call too, and I wanted to clear that I could say it. I didn't know if it was a surprise or not, but Angie Clemens is longtime athletic administrator, was my right-hand person for a long time. I called her my boss. She was my boss for many years. And so she can tell you from experience the amount of unbelievably gifted athletes that have come through our campus over the years is very humbling. And to sit there with the committee and literally go over every single name that is given to us. And I don't care if it's been nominated 27 times or one time, we will go over it every single time. And you know, we could probably get it done in an hour, but just to hear the stories and the talking about various, those things go forever. And so, but I to make the calls, when I got to call Ron and got to call Mac and tell them the news, that might be the best day. It's like Christmas for me, to be able to tell special people that they are inducted into a very special Hall of Fame or Circle of Honor. So we, you know, the gist of it is this: is you had to be a tremendous athlete at TJC, number one. Number two, and these guys can tell you, and Angie can tell you, it meant an awful lot to WAG to know who you became. And he wanted to see you become a successful member of society. Those two things would sit in the back of my mind as we went through every single name. And I promise you, there's a ton of names of great people that are still to come. And so with that, Mac and Ron, my sincerest congratulations. I hope to be hugging and handshaking at some point, but for the time being, this will have to do. That my sincere and honest congratulations and well deserved.
So thank you, Dr. Drain. And Chuck's going to give us, we will at least highlight the rest of the class, and then we'll chat a little bit with Ron and Mac. You know, it's obviously like Dr. Drain said, it's a talented group of folks. And so we'll just run through the inductees, and I know many of them would have liked to also jump on the call, but with some conflicts. So the class, I guess, essentially of 2020, hopefully, you know, I don't know if we'll get them inducted in 2020, obviously, but it is the class of 2020, is Mitch Berger, played football here from the years 90 to 91. Our next inductee is Jerry Champion, who played basketball 1949 to 1950. And then Mr. Cope, who we alluded to, member of the football team, 1959 to 1961, a member of the 1960 national championship team. Mr. Ellis, member of the basketball team, 1989 to 1990. Larry Harwood, member of the football team, 1960 to 1962. Joe Prudhomme, member of the basketball team, 1956 to 1957. Some of you may know Dr. Prudhomme was also a member of our board of trustees here still. Brenda Velasic, women's tennis player, 1997 to 1999. And Miguel Valeur, men's tennis player, 1989 to 1990. And so that will be the 2020 Sports Circle of Honor induction class. So congratulations to all of those folks. And certainly congratulations to the two folks we have on here. So I guess I'll start with, I'm gonna kind of go back and forth with you guys, and I'll start a little bit with Mac of, you know, you were here. There's kind of this presence still in our building. I think Tim would probably say the same thing when he was the athletic director. You still feel this presence of Coach Wagstaff among us. And so he was an inaugural member of that Sports Circle of Honor class, and you obviously played for him. I think sometimes that gets forgotten that Wag was a great football coach. His name's on our basketball court, and he's in the Basketball Hall of Fame. But what did that mean for you personally when Dr. Drain got to give you that call and realized that you know, you're going to that same Hall of Fame as the guy our building's named after? you know, what went through your mind when you got that phone call?
Let me first respond to the picture. You know, it's been 60 years since I played for him. Really, it seemed like this would just let you walk up to him and start to talk to him. I mean, that is really, really like him. He was I didn't think so at the time, and also a lot of the other kids probably, or teammates, didn't either. But over the years, we've really learned to, appreciate him. He's a great guy. He was tough, but he was fair. He was honest with you, and really, he was easy to get along with. You could walk up to him and put your arm around him, and first thing he'd say, "What do you want now?" You know, but he was he was a great guy. Okay, whenever I got the phone call, I remember we'd walked in. I don't know where we'd been, out to eat or something, my wife and myself, and it showed that we'd had a phone call from Tyler Junior College. Well, I called, and Dr. Drain was on the phone, and he told me, and really it kind of, it really surprised me. I didn't know what to say, and he probably thought I wasn't very appreciative or what have you, but it really took me back. And after I thanked him for the call, and he said congratulations and so forth, of course we hung up, and then I thought to myself, I just wasn't very responsive to that. Cause it really caught me off guard, Kevin.
Yeah. Ron, I'm gonna ask you the same question. What what was that like when you get that call? I appreciate what Dr. Drain says. It's I've had the opportunity to do that as well, make those phone calls, and but what's it mean to be on the other end of that phone call? What did it mean for you?
Well, at the time, I didn't think he had the right phone number. But it was an honor, and especially hearing from him. It's been a while since I've been back there. I know when I was there, I'm sure he probably thought I was still in school when I left because I've been at Angie's office so much. I walk in and he back there. Oh, hey, Mr. Ellis, you back up here again? And it was an honor. It was an honor. It really was.
So you mentioned Angie, so I'm going to put her on the spot. I don't know if I can get her or Chuck can unmute her. So, as soon as I called you about this, that was one of the first names that came up. And I can hear she's unmuted now. So, I moved here about a year and a half ago. I share this with about every athlete that I get a chance to talk to as a recruit, that I don't know if I've ever been a place in my life where the college, the people at the college and the community just wrap their arms around you. And obviously that was a relationship you had. So Miss Angie, you're on with Ron. Do you have any words of wisdom that you'd like to share with him? And remember, there's student athletes on here listening. So
Mother loves you, and I'm real proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah, she was the one that kept me, focused on what I needed to do on and off the court. And anytime I had a problem, she was the one I called to talk to. And she laid the line down to me. And that kind of took me on further than that to, where, to how you're supposed to approach people, how you're supposed to.
He's freezing up on us too. We'll come back to Ron in a second. I'll ask Mac a question. We had a chance on Tuesday to visit with your 1960 team. And I'm always amazed when you get a group of gentlemen who played together and you reconnect with them. You guys did not miss a beat. So, I felt like I was sitting around your guys' locker room after one of those 12 wins and just enjoying the banter and stuff like that. So I guess talk about that team, talk about what it's meant to you, talk about those relationships that were formed that have lasted a lifetime seemingly, and how special that is every time you get a chance to be around them.
Well, I mentioned a minute ago, it had been 60 years, and we have kept pretty close, or pretty much in touch. We'll talk on the phone, and we always go back to, have you heard from so-and-so, or where's so-and-so living now? And of course, unfortunately, we've had a bunch of our teammates that are deceased, and whenever that happens, we usually talk and so forth. We'll get back to Tyler, not very often, maybe once a year, and some of the guys will be there, and we'll rehash stories about Coach Wag and all that kind of stuff. And like last week, I had a couple of I had a basketball player, Artie Dixon and Ferris. They were out to our ranch, and we spent a couple of nights, and I think the truth was told maybe one time while we were out there. I don't know. But anyway, it's been good. I would think that we've stuck pretty close together and kept up with one another and what's going on.
Talk about that season a little bit, Mac, because I mean, 12-0, national champions, and you only had 33 guys on the roster. Right now we have 101 football players in the Apache football program. Those guys could not even dream of going out there and playing probably 2 weeks with 33 guys, let alone 12 in a row. Like, when did you guys know coming into that season, even with 33 guys, hey, we're pretty good and we got a chance to do something really special?
Well, we came back for fall camp, of course, and our first ball game was Henderson County, which we won. And the next ball game was with Victoria. Now, you know, that's down in South Texas. Long bus ride on Saturday night. Back, I guess, Sunday morning, early or late. And then, and I don't know how this happened, but on the next Thursday night, we had a ball game scheduled against Northeast Oklahoma up in Miami. And at that time, they were ranked as the number one team in the nation. Now, we played on Saturday night. Here we come back and play on Thursday night. So we go to Miami, and we beat those people 48-6 or 48-7. Come back. We got one day to prepare for Texarkana. Of course, between Tyler and Texarkana and Kilgore, there's not any love lost. and we won that ball game. Well, this makes us 4-0 3 weeks into the season. And the people in town, the community, the school, kind of got on board. The bells and the band, and everybody was into it. And all of us kind of got together, and here we go. It was where the time went, I don't know. It was a real quick season, seemed like. But there was one ball game against Ranger, and they weren't supposed to have very much at all. Well, at halftime, they were leading us 25-8. And we were playing out at Rose Stadium. And you're behind 25-8, and to somebody that you should be kicking all over the place. Well, Coach Wagstaff is not a happy camper. And you've got to go into that dressing room down at the end of the stadium that doesn't have a back door, and you've got to go in there and meet with him. And I tell you what, I for one dreaded that, because I knew there was going to be some rear end chewing going on. So we get in, and guess who the first person he mentioned? He said, "Cope, can you block your guy?" Well, of course, you're not going to tell him no. I said, "Well, yeah, coach." And then went to the guards and the tackles. And then he said, very, very calm, he said, "Well, where aren't the plays going?" And then he asked Coach Hallmark, he said, "You got anything to say, Coach?" And of course, Hallmark said and made a few comments. And he said, "Well, let's go outside and get up on the bank, sit in the grass and watch the girls or watch the bells and watch the band." Of course, we came back second half and kicked Ranger all over the place. I think we wound up beating them 29-25. But it was a heck of an experience. Something that, you go through once in a lifetime.
Thank you. Ron, I'm gonna ask you this question. So Angie might have sold you out a little bit when I talked with her that when it was time for you to come to Tyler, there might have been a little bit of an adjustment period there, and like I talked about earlier with Miss Angie, I think probably a lot of people wrapped their arms around you and welcome there. And then you go on and have a great career here and go to Louisiana Tech and go play 15 years of professional basketball. Could you ever have, like, was that your plan and your dream when you were leaving Louisiana to come to Tyler, Texas? Did you know I was going to go play 15 years of professional basketball? And then just tell us about that experience playing overseas, which I've heard is much, much different than playing in the United States, and what that's meant to you.
Yeah. Well, when I first came to TJC, I mean, it was, you know, I ain't know nobody. I was far away from home. You know, at the time I had ended up signing with a NLU, and that didn't fall through because the coach had ended up getting rid of one of the assistant coaches that was recruiting me. So when he did that, that left me to go wherever I wanted to go. So I called Coach T. I said, Coach, I said, what you doing? He said, nothing, trying to see if you're gonna come here. I said, well, yeah, I'm ready to come. I said, come get me. I'm thinking he gonna wait until like a few days or wait until the weekend. Next thing I know, the next morning, my mama wake me up, somebody at the door for you. I get up, I walk to the door, it's Coach T, you ready? I said, man, I don't even have a bag packed yet. He said, well, you need to get one pack so we can get on out of here. I got some other stops I got to go and pick up some other players. So he came, we left, went to Tyler. We ended up meeting some of the other guys, Craig Sibley, David Benoit. Well, David Benoit wasn't there when I got there. So I saw Craig Sibley. He said, Coach, I thought David was gone. He said, no, this is not David. He said, this the new guy that's coming to play, Ron Ellis. He said, man, he looked just like David. He said, and so, you know, it went on from there. I sat down with Coach and talked to him. You know, he's one of the straightforwardest coaches I ever played for. You know, I mean, he's not going to sit and tell you something that he's going to do and then come around and don't do it. You know, when I got there, he told me, he said, look, I'm not promising you that you're going to start. I'm not promising that you're going to, you know, get a lot of playing time. He said, it depends on you. It determines on you if you're going to play or not. He said, and that's all I wanted to hear. You know, let me know if I get out here and play the way I'm supposed to play, I work hard, let me know I'm going to be rewarded. And he stuck with that. And when I left from there, had 2 good years there. And all the guys, all great and everything. You know, everybody was just like a family. You know, and you see one, you're gonna see maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 other players all together. And then I left there off great times. I know Angie was kind of hating I was gone. She was sad I was gone. But, you know, she knew that she had already, you know, prepared me for everything on you know, how to carry myself on and off the court. So I went in. I ended up going to Tyler. I'm gonna say going to Tech. It was the same thing. The coach was the same thing, you know, letting me know what he expected from me and everything. So we sit down, talk to him, and everything went well. One of the players that played with me at Tyler, Roosevelt Powell, me and him ended up going to Tech together. And so, you know, we ended up there, and I knew what they expect out of him. He knew what they expect out of me. And, you know, and we, I think the team, Anthony Dade, PJ Brown, Eric Brown, a lot of those guys, we kind of like bonded as a team within, I say, a good month or so. Everybody was expecting the same thing. They was on the same page. And it was like Coach didn't really have to explain a lot of stuff to us. And so, you know, we went on there and we did well. You know, I ended up getting a couple of the honors from like Sun Belt Conference, you know, Player of the Year, Player of the Week, 2-3 times. You know, played against some of the guys, some great guys. NLU had some good guys. You know, Carlos Funches, Greyhound. You know, it was great. And you know, after that, I'm sitting at home. I end up getting a call from Phoenix Suns. You know, they called me. They said, "How would you like to be a Sun?" I said, "Who is this?" I said, he said, "This is Coach Westfall for Phoenix Sun." I said, "Man, y'all need to stop playing." You know, but then a friend of mine, he came from in the back. He said, "Man, you know, you just got drafted by Phoenix Sun." I said, "Man," I said, "No." So they turned the TV to it, and I saw Ron Ellis, and I saw Louisiana Tech. I said, "No, that ain't me." So then, you know, I talked to the coach. I told him, I said, "Hey, it's an honor." I said, I'll be happy to come there and play, you know. And I went down there and, you know, end up meeting Charles Barkley and Danny Ainge because they had got they was traded to Phoenix. So I got down there and met with those guys, learned a lot from those guys. Kevin Johnson, you know, Dan Marley, I stayed in the gym with him a lot, you know, working on stuff. And and then after that, I ended up going to the second division. They sent me to the second division when those two guys came in. Mm-hmm. So I ended up going to Rochester, Minnesota, playing with those guys for a year. And then after that, I ended up trying out with Dallas and San Antonio. And it was like every time I went to one of those teams, something happened. They had a lockout. You know, and I went to San Antonio, they had a lockout. That's the year San Antonio won the championship. Then I went to Dallas, they had another lockout. So I'm like, is this really for me? I'm thinking, I'm like, well, okay, I'm trying to get in here, and every time I do what I need to do, we have a lockout. So I ended up getting a call from a coach from overseas in Belgium. And the name of the town was Charleroi. And I went there and, you know, worked out with the team and everything. Everything went well. They end up, at the time I went there, they could only have 2 Americans. But, you know, they had a lot of players that was nationalized. You know, some was from, got German nationalities or Holland nationalities. So that ended up that they can bring in another American. So they only had 2 then. Now they can get as many as they want. But, you know, it was great. I stayed with that team for 6 years. And 6 years that I stayed with them, we won 4 championships. Won 3 back-to-back, well, 4 back-to-back after my first 2 years. So then I ended up getting my nationality after my 6th year. So I ended up getting a Belgian nationality, which then now they could bring in another American. So when that happened, and they had other players from different Germany and stuff, we had 8 Americans and 7 European players. And I mean, it was a great experience, you know, going from country to country, Spain, Germany, Italy, Russia. I don't want to go there no more, though. I don't want to go there no more. We went to Russia, and as we go into the hotel, we see military people going out in the fields and stuff digging for mines. Huh. And then we end up staying in a hotel that they had on the front cover of their hotel book that was shot up. So I'm like, they got us in this hotel? So then we end up, you can hear gunfire at night. You know, I have to lay on the floor. you know, it was crazy. I said, when we leave from here, I don't want to come back here. They're gonna have to come to us. But it was a great experience. I did yeah, all total 15 years, but I stayed with one team for 12 years. And
Okay.
in that 12 years, I stayed with that team. I think we won maybe 8 or 9 championships.
Gotcha.
And then I got Mr. Belgium basketball. We won like 3 or 4 Belgium Cup championships. We made it to the EuroLeague, I think 3 times. So I mean, it was a great experience. I mean, and the way I say, I wouldn't change it for nothing. I met my wife there. She was playing professional volleyball. So you can imagine my kids.
We'll be recruiting them soon. How's that?
Yeah, we got one. He's about 6'8" now, 200 pounds.
All right.
We got another one. He's playing football at the moment. That you know, I coach his the basketball team.
Okay.
And he's 6'5", about 205.
All right. Well, we need to, when you come over for Circle of Honor, make sure they're here, and we'll run them through a workout too. How's that
Oh
look?
yeah, I'm gonna make sure they're there. And then I got my 13-year-old. He's about almost 6 feet now.
We'll have some scholarship papers ready for him. How's that?
Yeah, they I got one of them now down there at LSUA. My
Okay.
oldest one, he's down there, and he's doing well. He's doing well.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to wrap with this, since we still got some of our current student athletes on here.
Yeah.
I guess real quick, if you had 2 minutes to talk to our current student athletes, and I'll start with you, Mac. What would be the message you'd want to make sure they'd want to hear?
Well, go to class, which sometimes I'll have to admit I wasn't the best in the world at that, but it's playing college ball is a good experience. You get to meet a lot of good people from different parts of the country, and try to mix and mingle with them as much as you can, and just take the advantage of the opportunity that's offered to you.
Perfect. Thank you. And Ron, for you, a couple minutes, what would you say to our student athletes in 2 minutes about TJC and what we are all about?
Well, I mean, you know, like Mark say, I mean, you know, take advantage of it, because I mean, you have a lot of players that can't get to that point of where they go to school and play basketball or football or whatever sports, you know. And you know, if that coach is willing to bring you in, you willing to go in there and do what you need to do to make sure that you're doing everything that coach expecting you to do. I mean, on the court and off the court, because a lot of times you have a lot of kids back at your hometown is looking up to you, you know. So that's something that you got to understand. And you know, I had told my mother this when I was at Tyler, and I told her, if Tyler was to turn into a 4-year school, I'd come back there for my next 2 years, because you know, the people there, you know, they commend you. You could talk to them. I mean, they talk to you. They make sure everything is, you know, okay. Oh, if you need anything, let us know. You know, and that's one thing that you know. And then Tyler, you know, the classes, the teachers, and everything, they willing to, you know, help you, but you have to go to them and ask for it. Don't just sit and think that they're gonna do it, and you're not asking for it. But you know, I had a great experience there. If I'd had 2 more years to come back, I would.
Well, thank you. I know Dr. Drain loves hearing that answer, because we're in a lot of meetings, and we share that. That's our proudest moment when we hear student athletes who say that exact same thing. And I appreciate you all for taking some time, and please know how proud we are of all 3 of you. Silk, what you've done in our office is amazing, and we appreciate it so much, and it's such a gift, not only the gift of art, but the gift you've given us. And Mac and Ron, we're proud of all your accomplishments, and congratulations on being welcome to a very, very, very exclusive club in the Sports Circle of Honor. And we look forward to being able to do this in person here soon. But all three of you, please know that, Coach Rocco said this to the football team, but this is always home for you guys. And you know what, if you're in town, please walk through that door, come say hello. And if you walk into the door a wag and it's locked, call one of us and we'll still let you in. How's that? And it's an open invitation. We appreciate all you do. So, and appreciate you guys taking time. So thank you all. And thanks to everybody that joined our student athletes. And I hope you all have a great night, a great weekend. Enjoy the end of Spirit Week. Susan, thanks for everything you're doing. And we will sign off.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, take it easy.